Hi, I'm Celeste, and welcome to Find Your Purple. Today is December 31st, 2018, so I'm saying goodbye to another year, and I thought I would take the time to do a video, and then I'll do another one tomorrow to start the new year. I like closing out the year. We'll be putting away some of the decorations today, not all of them because one of my daughters wasn't able to make it. She lives in New York, and so we're going to leave the tree up and have another Christmas when she gets here in February or March. But otherwise, cleaning out the refrigerator and kind of, again, symbolically closing out some things in the old, making room for the new. To let you know, I'm still eating a plant-based diet, so I'm moving towards 2.5 years as a vegan, basically, which is no meat, no chicken, no pork, no fish, no dairy, no eggs, all of that. Heavy in the fruits and vegetables. So it's not been hard. This Christmas I did cheat. Christmas Eve my daughters have for the last 30 years. They cook all day long, all finger foods that we've loved, and a lot of those are cheese-based. And I knew going in I was going to eat some, and that's okay. This isn't a marshaled plan that someone's going to slap my hand or something. And I had crab puffs, which Ashley makes, my oldest, and and it has crab and cream cheese in it. And I had quite a few. Not as many as I would have in the old days, but I did have them, and I enjoyed them. And I will have them next year. And if my daughter comes in February or March, we're going to do some of the cooking again. I will eat them again. So I think that's it with me, is that I've learned if I want to have a cake at a wedding and it's got eggs and butter in, I'm going to have it. I am not one of those that, is really crazy about it. But I find I just do better and feel better by keeping meats and dairy and eggs out of my diet. So my daughters are none of them are vegans. However, they have all really admitted that they are shifting to less meat and more fruits and vegetables, which is, I think, the goal. I'm not trying to turn people into vegans or plant-based diets, but I think if people are having health issues, or for me, my skin was puffy, my joints were achy, I had more back pain, and all of that went away after I was on a plant-based diet for a while. Now my skin is still aging, and my hair is still thinning, so I haven't worked through that yet, and that's was happening before I went on a plant-based diet. I just find in your 60s, everyone I talk to, the aging process becomes much more visible. We've been aging all of our lives, but you don't see it until you hit a certain age, and for me that was 62. That's the first year I felt old, and it's also it was a year, as many of you know, that I lost people that were significant in my life, and I just became more aware of my mortality. So I'm going into the new year still staying on a plant-based diet. I started juicing back in July. I got a juicer, and I juice 2 to 3 days a week, not every day, so I bottle it, and I bought some vacuum caps that go on mason jars on Amazon. I think they were $11 for 4. So I put a vacuum cap on it and then take out the oxygen so they stay fresh. So I don't do it daily because cleaning it takes 5 minutes. It's not a huge deal, but it's still kind of a pain. I try to do celery juice every day, and so again, I'll make a few bunches of celery, but I'll do whatever's in season, or whatever I could find. Right now, pineapple's $2.98 or something for a pineapple, and so I enjoy that. I miss the watermelons. In summer, you get a watermelon for $2 and make 4 quarts of watermelon juice, and I loved it. So I don't have that. I use a lot of apples now, because I'm including a lot more fruits and vegetables in my diet than I ever did before. So when I started on the plant-based, I was using meat substitutes. I still use them some, but I've moved away from that to more whole food, plant-based. In September, I think it was, I started drinking distilled water only. I had always thought it was bad for you, and when one of my daughters heard I was drinking it, that's immediately where she went, oh, it's bad for you. But if you do some reading, there's a lot of people who have lived in their 90s, hundreds that only drank distilled, and that it can break down some calcium, the bad stuff in your body, not the good. So if you're interested, I'll let you know which books I read. But two of the people I kind of went through and read some of their books was Bragg. He did the apple cider vinegar. He was a health fanatic and health leader for years and years. He's dead now. His daughter carries on his name, but I think he's most known for the apple cider vinegar that you get. But he mentored Jack LaLanne, and I remember growing up and Jack LaLanne was on TV, and they were both into juicing, and then the juice man who started juicing probably in the 50s, I think. And so they were all supporting the juicing, and then I read about the distilled water, so I decided I would buy it, and you can buy it in the gallons for 89 cents at HEB. So I would buy 6 gallons every few days, and it's kind of a pain to schlep home, but I wanted to make sure I was going to do it. So from September to December, I have been drinking distilled water, and my daughters asked what I wanted for Christmas, and I said a countertop distilled water maker. So it's just a little one, and it takes about 3.5 hours to make 1 gallon of distilled water. But the last week I've been doing my own distilled water, and that's I'm trying to drink 90 ounces a day of either juice or water or combination. So I've kind of added some specific things I'm adding. I'll maybe mention it tomorrow. I'll do a January 1st kick off the new year. But I've also, if you were caught, I've not been good at exercising. Kind of got away from my worship walk when weather got bad, a lot of rain, and it was real muddy, and I quit doing it. I need to get back into it. But I did pick up a vibrational machine and a rebounder from a client that was moving. And the rebounder is just like a little trampoline. And the vibrational machine, you just stand on it and you do exercises on it, but it does vibration and somehow gets everything moving. It's all about getting your blood flowing and the adrenals going. And I've been using those, doing exercises, arm exercises on the vibrational machine, been doing a plank on the vibrational machine, and then on the rebounder, I've been doing 10 or 15 minutes, starting to do jumping jacks on it. And I'm really feeling a difference with the cardio. Because in the old days, I hated jumping jacks. I just hated them. And now I have a little app that cuts times 1 minute and 30 seconds, and it just dings. So I'll be doing I was doing a minute of just bouncing and, skipping or whatever, and then 30 seconds of jumping jacks, then a minute, that was less than 30. Now I'm going to be doing, starting tomorrow, I'm going to set the timer for 30-30. So I'm going to do 30-minute jumping jacks, 30 minutes kind of in a rest light marching mode or whatever, and then 30 minutes jumping jacks and 30. And I'm going to see how that goes. But I'm kind of feeling good that I'm staying with that. I still do my inversion table. I had it for, I mentioned, about 15 years or so, and it sat unused for 13 or 14 of those years till I kept reading about how it was good for you. And since I already had it, I figured, well, I should start doing it. The secret for me in doing it is I do it first thing in the morning before I've drank anything. Because if you have, well, at least for me initially, if you drank anything or ate anything, and then you go upside down, you almost feel like you're drowning. And I think that was where I went wrong when I first got it. I did it without paying attention to when I ate or drank, and then had those feelings and just hated it, how it felt in my head. Where now when I do it, that's on a fully empty stomach, I really, really like the feeling. I like how it just pulls, and it's really made a difference on my back. So I try to do that. 6 to 10 minutes is kind of where I am now. I was doing it 15, but one, I found it harder to get all my routine in, and then I read that, 6 to 8 is probably enough. So maybe 8 to 10, but I put on, just a recording of something or a podcast of some kind, and I just hang, and then I was doing some face exercises while I was upside down. So anyway, still doing that. And so that's kind of where I might start my new year. I'll mention tomorrow some apps I'm using on the Bible reading that I really think is going to help me in 2019 stay focused on that. But starting tomorrow, I'll be starting 21 Days of Prayer, and I'll mention that tomorrow. And this is my 3rd year doing that. And I just like the idea of closing out a year and reviewing everything, good and the bad, and opening yourself to the possibilities of the new year. So 2019, I'm feeling good. It's going to be a positive year for me. Hope it will be a positive year for you. But be sure to think about your goals for the year and put some habits in, just baby steps. And again, don't beat yourself up if you don't do it. And rarely do I ever say I'm doing anything 100% or 7 days a week. My days are different enough that my goal is to set, if it's 3 to 5 days a week, and I do 6 or 7, great. But if I do something regularly for 3, 4, 5 times a week, that, then hey, then you did it. Pat yourself on the back. But I am finding most of the things I'm doing are now at a point where it's a part of my life. And I just need to get exercise in there a little more to where I enjoy it a little more. But I am finding, as you see the difference in your body or in your mind or in your spirit, it's kind of urges you to do more. And then it becomes not a have to, but a get to. So I want more get tos. I get to do something. And I want to do something, not because I have to, but because I know how it makes me feel. So that's it for today. Have a safe and blessed evening, and get ready for the new year. Again, all sorts of possibilities. So as always, grab your cup of tea, sit back, and let's start sharing. Until next time, bye-bye.